As we just ended the previous tutorial, I had just placed the base computer. It's time to start building the base. This is the next edition of Yacht's Tutorials, surviving the first day of No Man's Sky. So, we've placed the base computer and it's telling us to access the base computer. We access the base computer, and it gives us all the plans for the basic base parts: walls, ceilings, floors. For which we just need carbon, ferrite dust, and pure ferrite. If we go into our build menu now, we have more than just portable parts. We now have 3 more sections. Timber floor panels, which it wants us to build a 4x4, but I always build a 3x3. I mean, it wants us to build a 2x2, so a 4 square, but I build 3x3, so 9 squares total. So to do that, I first go into the build menu, grab a part, and then hit the build camera, toggle camera button, which is B for me. What that does is it lets me go into build camera mode, which lets me move the part itself without moving my body. You notice I'm moving the part, but I'm still standing still. So I can move my part wherever I want, and then since I'm in snap mode, any part that I place next to it will snap to it, like so. So I'm placing 9 parts, like so. And I want walls attached to it. On all but one piece. And then I put a door in that last piece, which I need pure ferrite. So I dropped the portable refiner and put ferrite dust inside. I'm going to put about half of it. If I grab the ferrite dust and I hit the change stack quick split, which for me is C, it lets me put half of the stack in. Fuel it up and begin. And while that's happening, I'm going to show you how I call my ship. In the quick menu button, one scroll to the left is a thing that says summon vehicles. I can summon my ship. As long as it has launch fuel, it'll drop wherever I tell it to. Have it drop right in front of me. And let my my hazard protection recharge while the storm passes. Actually, while the storm is here, I'll probably go inside the cave. I'm shortly going to need a lot more carbon, so after this piece, I'm going to go out and find me some trees, even in the storm. Or just wait. Storm clearing. trees that I haven't scanned. One more tree and I think I'm good for now. Okay, and if you remember, I told you that important stuff shows up on your compass rose at the top of your screen. Your base now shows up on your compass rose. It's not showing up right now because the red dot is blocking it, but I'm going to go back over there, get rid of the red dot by interacting with the base computer. Construction largely a success, yes I know, but it still needs a door and ceilings. So let's go pick this up so I can finish up the building, and I'll show you what's next. So I need a door. Once again, I go into build camera mode, put the door on, and ceilings. I do all of this in build camera mode, and I go up in the sky so I can look down on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just like that. Then it wants a construction research unit, which needs magnetized ferrite, 20, and a carbon nanotube, which we already know how to make. So I'll make the carbon nanotube, and then it needs 20 magnetized ferrite. To make magnetized ferrite, I drop pure ferrite in here. Actually, I'm not going to drop as much, so they don't have to spend all day scrolling. So I'm going to drop this down. Pure to magnetized is 2 to 1. So I only need, I'm going to drop 60 in there. Drop this down to 20 and hit begin. And pick it up. There we go. That lets me put this in the corner. Test that. Tells me I need salvaged data from buried technology. Salvaged data can be found by digging up buried technology. How do I find buried technology? I look for icons that look like this right here. Looks like a Wi-Fi signal. I mark it, and then I run. First I'm going to grab this oxygen. On the other side of the mountain. Here's another one right here. So I just go into and then into my dig mode. And if you don't damage the box that it's in, sometimes you get more out of it. So I open it, and sometimes I get 3 or 4, sometimes even 5. But that time I only got 2. I just looked into that one. I didn't even see it on the map. Shoot this bad plant right here. There's a cave right there I will need for the blizzard coming up in a second. Still only got 2 out of that one. See if I can make it back down into this cave. Yep, I can. I can get under this roof. There we go. Boom, just like that. And actually what I can do is, if I can get through these stalactites, I can actually find an empty piece of wall, enlarge the size of my beam like so, since I'm in the middle of the storm, there's no reason for me to wait for the storm to be over when I can just dig straight through the mountain. Pop out the other side and there I am. What do you think of that? Okay, so here's what I need from the construction research unit. I need the teleporter, and I need something to power it with. I need the biofuel reactor, preferably the biofuel reactor. I'd like the solar panel and the battery, but I can't afford those yet. So, biofuel reactor, which would cost 1, and the electrical wire, which is free. I also have 1 salvage data left, and I always like to have that safe beacon, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I then place the base teleport module, which costs 4 metal plating and 2 carbon nanotube. So, 2, 3, 4. 2 of those. There's the teleporter. The biofuel reactor will be in the next menu over. And that requires 1 more metal plating. Then I choose the wire, which will connect the reactor to the teleporter, but you notice it didn't power up because the biofuel reactor requires biofuel, which is carbon. So it doesn't need much. So what I do is, instead of dropping a whole stack in there, I just drop it down to 10 and fuel it up. You'll notice that it's not doing anything yet though, because I need to go finish the mission. It wants me to capture a new base shot. Yeah, I don't really care, but I like the fact that I just grabbed this one right next to a archive, so boom, there we go. Then I leave that. Okay, so it's ready for the next mission. I was actually a step ahead of it. Entry as follows. Scanner detected, still 16, blah, blah, blah. And it's telling me to head for the space station, because that's where the previous user of the base computer left to go. So, first of all, I want to run inside for a second, so I can do this in and out of the weather. And I'm going to get rid of these geodes. Drop the refiner. And get rid of these. See if there's anything else that I need to get rid of. Put this in my exosuit, and this in my exosuit, and this, so that when I get upstairs I can sell it. Upstairs, by upstairs I mean up in the space station in space. Okay, so now it's time to head into space. Follow the footsteps of the base computer's previous owner, and we head into space. But it's telling us I don't have any launch thruster fuel. So to make that, I need launch thruster fuel needs dihydrogen, which I have, and metal plating. I always make more than one, so I'm going to make 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2, 3, 4, 5. And I put those up at the top as well. And when you swap something, they trade places, like so. And then you can refuel those just like you refill everything else with X and triple click. Now it's time to leave. Point your nose at the sky, boost for just a second, and then head into pulse for just a second. Drop out a pulse, that gets you loose of the planet's atmosphere. Find the hexagon shape. Put your pipper right on it, and then go into pulse. It'll slingshot you around the planet if that's where it's taking you. And the trap, which is what I call the entrance, because even if you're coming around it from the other side, it'll trap you inside like the trap on an aircraft carrier. Always faces the planet that it's closest to. So when you get close to it, it'll grab you like so. Just like an aircraft carrier's trap. So a couple of things that you always want to do when you visit a new space station, because every space station has one of them. Always go up and to the right. Oh, by the way, that music that you just heard when you entered the space station, you only hear that the very first time you enter a space station for the very first time in No Man's Sky. Go up and to the right as you exit your craft, and go to this vertical pod thing. Looks like a Star Trek teleporter, Star Trek transporter thing. It holds an exocraft upgrade. The first one is absolutely free, and you can put it down here if you want to, but I start out by putting them all up here. To switch them from down here to up here, pick a completely empty slot, not one of the ones that has a wheel on it, but one of the completely empty ones, and you'll see it switch, like so. Actually, it's asking me to buy it for 1,000. When it's down here, it's free. When it's up here, it costs money. But I would rather pay for it. Boom, there it goes. The other thing you want to do is look around on tables and countertops or glowing yellow or blue cubes. The glowing yellow or blue cubes hold something called navigation data, or sometimes something called nanites. Nanites are a secondary currency in No Man's Sky, which allow you to buy upgrades or tech for your weapons or your ship or exosuit. There don't appear any to be... Oh, there's one that you can't get to behind him, but that's what they look like right there, behind him on that counter behind him. Okay, so the next thing it wants you to do is talk to several people on the space station, and it doesn't really matter which ones. So, walk up to somebody and talk to them. Ask about the travelers, and move on to the next. Ask about 16. Move on to the next. Repeat 16. Okay, so it tells us to visit technology merchants. These are the merchants on the other side where I just had you. These are the merchants who, if you had nanites, you'd be able to buy upgrades for your technology. This is the merchant that sells technology for your upgrades for your multi-tool. If it's not an S-class upgrade like this one here, don't buy it. Scatter Blaster is a good weapon to use. I don't have it currently installed on this multi-tool. This is the technology merchant for your starship upgrades. Once again, nothing but S. But you don't have any nanites anyway. Exocraft, which you don't have yet. He's got a bunch of S-Class here, so you'll know that your home system has a bunch of S-Class upgrades for your Exocraft when you get them. This is where you get S upgrades for your exosuit. And once again, nothing but S, but he's got a couple there. This is the place where you can either upgrade your starship, or when you find crashed or broken starships, you can salvage them for cash. This is where you can actually modify your appearance, like show. You can change your head, your body shape, your backpack, your legs, what have you. Not doing that right now, I'm just showing you what it is. Now, you don't have to jump back in your ship. When you're ready to leave, as it tells you, just run back to the other platform, where you will find a teleporter that matches the one that's at your base, just like yours. In the list, you will find your system, your base. Whether you have a teleporter there or not is irrelevant. You'll always be able to go there. The teleporter only allows you to leave. As long as you have a base computer there, you can always go back to it. And that pops you out. And if you notice, now that we've gotten there and comes back through from the other side, your teleporter is now glowing. And that completes that mission. Let's access the base computer to finish it. And some more 16s. And that finishes this particular mission, and we'll end the tutorial there.